It's great to be with you on a Monday afternoon as we get Sacramento Kings. Then on Wednesday, they'll face off against Brandon Ingram and the Toronto Raptors.
And that game against the Lakers.
Mikal Bridges out there with Jalen Brunson. Then it's OG Anunoby. Then it's Karl Anthony Towns. And it's Hart in at the Horseman. For the 76ers. In the backcourt, we'll see Maxey and Edgecombe. Then it's Joel Embiid. Then it's Paul George. And it's Barlow in at the 4 slot. Clark, there's so much excitement for these teams and for their fan bases on day 1 of the season.
That's typical for all fan bases on the opening day of the season. I mean, the whole season is in front of you. Optimism runs high for just about everybody. Yeah, it doesn't look like the highest percentage shot, and it certainly wasn't, but Brunson steps into it with confidence and makes his share of those hard shots, leading him right to the basket with a tremendous pass. Really good execution there.
Brunson with it. Towns, a screen on Maxey. Brunson with a clean look. And again, it's a New York 3.
Brunson.
Barlow's got his second basket.
And once he got to the 10, I think he was surprised to find himself that wide open.
Well, this early, they should be showing a lot more energy on defense. It's not there.
Bucket is good.
And great hustle from Maxey in the open court, getting there on the fast break.
First 1:30 gone here in the first quarter. Bridges outside. Maxey against Brunson. The shot, no good. Some solid defense from Maxey. And man, is this team on a roll right now offensively, Greg. So fun to watch.
They're playing with so much confidence, which is why they're tearing it up on this end.
2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
You know, for me, OG Anunoby is the definition, the epitome of a high-effort player. He gives you great effort all the time at both ends of the floor, and he's only concerned with impact and winning.
And we've got our 2K insider, Shams Charania, on the line. Shams, what's the story?
Well, the Sixers are one of the more high-variance teams in the league. With their star veterans in PG and Embiid fully healthy, they have a chance to win the East. Without, they'll need to lean heavily on their promising young players.
They're plenty talented. Thank you, Shams.
They've missed just 1 of 5 shots so far. I like the look of this offense.
Looking at Philadelphia, they want to turn it around after the loss to New York. Here's Brunson driving inside. Deflects the pass. Towns with the steal. Towns sets the pick for home. And the officials will call the illegal screen right.
For the league is to really crack down on a
They've gotten away with that a few years ago, but not anymore. No way. Now you've got to be stationary on those screens. No extra hips or elbows.
Hart outside from the arc. New York, no good that time either.
And on an open look like that, he's there kicking it, making the weak coverage.
In a hard-nosed defensive identity for this Knicks, but GA, there's been some slippage.
Well, the challenge has been their 2 best offensive players get targeted at the other end. The adage, you're only as strong as your weakest link, it has some truth to it.
Now here's Brunson. Coming off 31 points last game. New York, no good that time either. Here's Maxey. And he could not get it. 1 to go. Out of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. And for over a decade in the end.
Hold off Father Time.
Here he goes. Edgecombe, no good.
And once he had to change his shot in the face of the D, you just had a feeling that one wasn't going to fall.
Pass to Hart. Trying to find Towns. Gets it to him. Over Embiid. And it's Towns missing. The 76ers have gotten 4 of 6 field goal attempts to drop in the first quarter.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Brunson against Maxey. Yes, that goes in. Brunson's got 10 points.
Great quarter for him at the offensive end, trying to will his team back in the game.
Pass to Edgecombe. Embiid with the screen on Bridges. Back to George. It's rebounded by Anunoby.
Got what he wanted, but then blew the lay-in. He tricked that one.
Brunson. From top. He's going to make some adjustments to the game plan.
Excellent season. Put up about 24 points per, 12 rebounds and 3 assists. And his rebounding is what's most impressive. He's shown tremendous determination on the backboard.
And it's a big asset for this team. I mean, he blocks out on the defensive glass, and then he keeps balls alive at the offensive end.
And now let's swing it over to Allen LaForge on the sideline.
Earlier, I spoke with Nick Nurse. When Karl Anthony Towns was brought up, Coach immediately chimed in, saying, yeah, the thing about Towns is the sheer size that he brings. Our guys will have to be physical, and they can hunt.
This is just smash-mouth physical basketball, guys.
Now, here's Hart. No scoring in this one.
Not quite enough defense. That time around, just lucky he was off.
Knicks trail by 8. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Way too easy for Hart. This is why the defense has to push him out of the paint.
And it's Maxey with the ball for the Philadelphia 76ers. Outside, George. And George with the stop.
And he just goes from the bucket after sending that one through.
And you can see which team has the swagger right now.
Well, you know what? You don't want to do too much to get an opponent riled up. You got to be mindful of that.
To Brunson. And he sinks that one in the back of the rim on the way in. 12 points for him.
And he's clearly led the way offensively. The question is, can they ride him and get back into it?
Stolen by Brunson. The call will be against VJ Edgecombe. That's his first foul. The Knicks making a switch here. Robinson's checked in.
Substitution on the court.
Hart kicks to Robinson. George against Hart. Pass to Bridges. Fires the 3. And it's Philadelphia with the rebound.
They've been sensational on the backboard to start this game.
Yeah, sensational is a really good word for it. They're tearing it up on the glass.
Now, here's Hart. After the miss from Tyrese Maxey. And it's Brunson missing. And he comes up with the deuce. And that's now 6 points for Tyrese Maxey.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They keep getting in the paint and continue to score consistently.
That was a very smooth shot by Bridges. Measured that mid-range J perfect.
Outside, George. Rebounded by Hart. Knicks trail by 6. Anunoby finds Hart. There's the 3. The shot is good. It's his second bucket in 5 tries.
You know, he does a little bit of everything. But when Hart is draining the three-pointer, that's when he's most dangerous.
Back to Grimes. From deep, George. Here's Drummond. Robinson pulls it in. Now here's Brunson. 12 points for him. And they're unable to get the tying basket there. Here's George. Here's Paul George with the finish.
And putting his explosive athleticism on full display there. George is capable of some highlight reel dunks.
Now here's Bridges. Back to Robinson. New York moving the ball around. Bridges shot good.
Just such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
Here's Maxey. Score the basket. His fourth. He's only missed one of his 5 shots tonight.
Hey, one thing about Maxey, he was just born to score. This guy is a bucket getter.
On T, Brunson sinks the triple. Brunson's got 15 points.
And that's exactly what he's looking for, draining the triple.
Here's Maxey. And he finishes nicely on the lane. And the 76ers lead by 4.
That's the 10th straight point they've given up in the paint.
And, you know, it doesn't matter how good your defense is on the perimeter if you're going to allow easy ones inside like that.
Now here's Brunson. 15 points in the game. Pass to Anunoby. 6 to shoot. New York needs to get off a shot. Hart. It's holding by Paul George. George has got 4 rebounds now tonight. Oubre, no one around him. And the 76ers tack on 2 more.
And the story here, Kevin, early on is how well they shot basketball.
Very high percentage so far. And if you want to start a game hot, that's the way to do it.
One of the better 2-way wings in the NBA, Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, he's a versatile defender. Has really improved offensively recently, in my estimation. Was second in Defensive Player of the Year voting one time. And over time, like I said, I think he's really added to and rounded out his offensive game.
And that one falls for Bridges. And some young promise in the backcourt for Philadelphia.
Maxey already an all-star. Jared McCain looks to continue his promising start. And Quinn Grimes a revelation last season. And let's not forget number 3 pick B.J. Edgecombe. They are loaded at guard.
Here's what Philadelphia's going with right now. Bonus checked in. And it's Edwards in for Paul George.
It's one of the NBA's iron men. Mikal Bridges has remained remarkably healthy and efficient for most of his career so far.
McBride with the ball. McCain defending. McBride passes to Towns. And the layup's good off the glass.
A prolific inside scorer since his first day in the league. Towns gets the job done down low.
Here's Grimes. Can't get it to fall. And here's Clarkson. He brings it up for the Knicks. It's a 5-point game. Bridges gets to Clarkson. The Knicks from 3-point range.
Yeah, that's too good a look to give him from behind the arc.
Philadelphia's gone just 1 of 4 from 3-point range here in the first. Oubre on the wing. Out to Edwards. Launches a 3. Bridges with the board. Over McCain. And again, it's New York. Paul George.